The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The New York Jets offseason is officially in the book. So which players helped their stock and which players hurt their stock during OTAs and minicamp? We'll talk about that and more. We also announced the winners of ASMANIAC Raffle number 28. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Friday, a football Friday. Today's the last day. You can lock in your spot to join me and the ASMANIACS for the Jets and the Panthers all together. Section 129 will be there on October 19th. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff. If you buy your tickets with us, you will get them at a discounted rate, $165 per person, which is $60 lower than what the face value is that day from the New York Jets themselves. You also, if you go now and you're one of the first 75, you could join us on the field for a post-game group photo. Plus, we'll have info on a discounted tailgate ticket through Tailgate Joe if you buy that through us. All right, lock in your spot. I posted the link, and make sure you do it by the end of the day. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. Before we bring on Jets reporter Nick Faria in his weekly spot to recap the final day of minicamp yesterday and also go through a story that Nick wrote on JetsXFactor.com on which players improved and which players hurt their draft stock. I think it's about that time to give out some epic prizes. That's right. We're going to start the show with a bang. A full-size Broadway Joe helmet, a Walt Clyde Frazier signed jersey, a Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame inscription signed jersey, and a Bart Scott can't wait signed jersey will be raffled away. You might be saying, when is that raffle? Well, guess what? That raffle, it's right now, baby. Let's go.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly ASMANIAC Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which ASMANIAC is winning an epic prize.
Here's how this works. If you're new to the show, I pull up the Wheel of Champions, and on said wheel, all the memberships and super chats that met the criteria have been accounted for. And I spin the wheel, and you can't win more than once. You can only win one prize per raffle. That is the only rule. So without further ado, I'm going to pull up the wheel. Now, before I announce the winners, we have never had this before, but Frank P. at the literal buzzer gifted 10 channel memberships. So I'm stalling here because I was waiting for Chat GPT to type Frank's name 10 more times to get him in the raffle for 10 more entries. So, Frank, I got you down. Let's go. Bang! Bang! So 10 more for Frank at the literal buzzer here. All right, all raffle entries for this raffle, raffle 28, are closed. What I need right now is raffle music. Who's going away? Who's going home? With some awesome signed Jets prizes, we find out now. Here we go. Prize number one is one of the great prizes we've ever given away. A full-sized Broadway Joe helmet. Peter Castro won the first one. My goodness. Did we count this, folks? I'm just seeing this here from AD. A $100 super chat. I think we got to count it, right? I think we got to count this. That's only fair. I'll ask the chat real quick. I'm not spinning it. I'm going to wait. Hold on. We've never done this before. I was about to click it, and I just saw this. I'm going to enter him. I'm going to enter AD 20 times. Hold on. I'm counting it. That's loyalty right there. from an ASMANIAC. Please stand with me. I need ChatGPT to help me here. Please type out AD83 20 times. 2B. Copy and paste it. Okay. This is all happening in real time here. AD, thank you very much. I'm getting you in the raffle. You're in for 20 times. Here we go. I'm adding it now. I'll reshuffle the names. Give me a second. AD, you're crazy. I love it. Also, I'll spill the beans. I'm going to do a daily raffle at the end of the show. I'll announce that prize in a moment. I'm coming through for all the Jet fans that are tuned into content here in June. Okay. Is this up to par here? Are we ready? Hold on. There's some roster gymnastics, they say in the NFL. There's some Wheel of Champion gymnastics I got to do to copy and paste the names fluently here. We don't want a controversial raffle. We want everything to be smooth. AD, you're killing me, but I appreciate your support, man. This is crazy. God. Stand by, people. I apologize. This is what we do for the ASMANIAC community. This is what it's all about. Aaron Glenn's talking about culture. This is what we call raffle culture on this show. At least we have dramatic music. God. AD. 20 entries at the buzzer. I'm manually now entering this because it didn't load properly. If AD doesn't win, God may hate him. Because this is the stuff of legends right here. This is storybook stuff. Okay. AD, you are accounted for, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me pull up the wheel. And let's spin the wheel, shall we? Prize number 1 will be the full-sized Broadway Joe helmet. Let me shuffle the names here. Oh, hold on. Good thing I saw. Gotta adjust AD's name. And one more. Boom. All right. Ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Shuffle the names one last time. Remember, you can only win once. There's 1,158 tickets in here. We spin the wheel right now. The winner of the full-size Broadway Joe helmet is... listener. This is so delayed. StreamYard, stop being bad. Rick Kent. Rick Kent is the winner of the full-sized Broadway Joe David helmet. Rick was gunning for it, and guess what? The great Rick Kent. He's got himself a Broadway Joe full-sized helmet. Congratulations to Rick Kent, an awesome winner. Rick, just like Peter Castro, who won the other full-size Broadway Joe helmet a few months back, Rick actually got to see Joe Namath play. So that's awesome. Rick, congratulations. You deserve it. All right. Prize number 2 is a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. So we're hoping that whoever wins this is also a Knicks fan. The wheel is being spun right now. And the winner of the Walt Clyde Frazier jersey is Indy Jets, who this is the worst possible scenario that could have played itself out. He is not only not a Knicks fan, he is a Pacers fan. So this is a disgusting act of violence from the Wheel of Champions. What I will not allow happen here is for a Pacers fan to get this jersey. I will hopefully be able to negotiate a deal with Indy to send them an alternate Jets prize. But technically, Indy Jets is somehow the winner of the Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. This is almost as bad as when the Patriots fan won the CJ Mosley jersey 2 weeks ago on the show. With that said, stand by. We might have to re-raffle that prize at some point here. All right. I got a couple more here. I apologize for making our guest Nick a little late, but that's what happened when we got 20 entries at the buzzer. Here we go. I'm spinning the wheel again. Signed Kevin Mawai jersey is our next prize, and it's going to Frank P. Frank, you are on some roll, my man. Yesterday, Frank became the first person to win a daily raffle prize twice in the same day. He won a signed CJ Mosley jersey, a signed Anthony Beck jersey, and now he just won a signed Kevin Mawai jersey. Not too shabby for Frank P. All right, One more prize, and then we'll talk actual Jets on the program. Ladies and gentlemen, our final prize is a signed Bart Scott Jets jersey. And that winner is listener Bo C. Congrats to Bo. Earlier this week, Bo won a framed and autographed Don Maynard photo, and now he's coming away with another prize, a signed Bart Scott jersey. Can't wait. Congratulations to our winners. Rick Kent, Broadway Joe, full-size helmet. Indy Jets, God. Walt, Clyde Frazier, Knicks jersey. Frank P, Kevin Mawai signed jersey. Bo C, Bart Scott signed jersey. All right, let's announce the news now. End of the show. Daily raffle prize. I'll do one more giveaway. I'm going to give away another signed Hall of Fame inscription, Kevin Mawai, New York Jets jersey. So if you want to win that, gift away. If you're already gifted like AD and Frank P, you're in it to win it. So a signed Kevin Mawai jersey, we give that away at the end of the show. All right, appreciate all of you for bearing with me there. Now let's talk some Jets, and we say hello to Jets beat reporter for Athlon Sports and JetsXFactor.com, Nick Faria. Nick, appreciate you hanging with us there, man. Wild raffle, man. Wild.
That was riveting. That was absolutely riveting. That had my heart on like blast. It was incredible. First off, the wheel picking a Pacers fan to win a Knicks gift, that is a sham of itself. That wheel needs to be replaced and potentially bring in a backup ready to go.
The only thing I could say is, once again, it proves that this is not a rigged wheel, because
100%.
I would never allow a Pacers fan to win a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey, and then 2 weeks ago, a Patriots fan to win a signed C.J. Mosley jersey.
That's
just
not
disgusting.
right. That's just not right.
All right. I want to get into everything that has gone down at minicamp this week. You also wrote a great story that I referenced in the thumbnail and title, Risers and Fallers through the offseason workouts, OTAs, and minicamp. But let's just start specifically with this week. What to you were your top takeaways from these 3 days at One Jets Drive over the course of minicamp?
I went back and forth on where to put Justin Fields on that list, because there were some moments, some throws that looked really, really strong. Like a guy that is on the precipice of a breakout season. Had some great deep balls to Garrett Wilson, had a beautiful touchdown throw as well in the red zone period. All of that is great. But we also have to be honest and also acknowledge that he also kind of showed different points that he was the same quarterback that he was in Chicago and in Pittsburgh, holding on to the ball too long, taking a little too long to read. I still don't like his throwing motion. I think it's a little too long. It's not Byron Leftwich long, but it's still a little bit long for my liking. So there are going to be things, and there are certainly reasons why Justin Fields will be late on some throws. There were reasons why he was reading the defense for too long. This is a brand new offense. This is a brand new team. So all of that does have to be taken into account. I gave him credit more because of what he was able to do on some of the deep balls that did look pretty. 2 days ago, he had a wonderful deep ball to Garrett Wilson over the shoulder over Brandon Stevens. That was an elite throw from a young quarterback that could get any fan base excited. Outside of that, obviously really liked what I saw from Garrett Wilson. Loved what I saw from some of the rookies, A.Z. Thomas, specifically Malachi Moore on the defensive end, I thought played very, very well. There were a lot of players that I think helped themselves, but I also think there were some players that hurt as well. I didn't like what I saw from Brandon Stevens. Whenever he went up against Garrett Wilson, he lost. He was better against Alan Lazard and Tyler Johnson and all those guys, but that's to be expected. You're going to play more players in the NFL like Garrett Wilson, not like an Alan Lazard. So I think this week wasn't the best overall for someone like Brandon Stevens. Talk about the offensive line. We have to wait to see what happens when the pads come on. But in reality, it's the players who did not participate, in my opinion, that took the biggest L's over the last month and a half, namely Malachi Corley, former third-round pick, nicknamed the Yak King, Yak God, whatever you want to call it. He was brought in as a weapon for this offense. He wasn't used a lot last year because they didn't like how far behind he was on his route running. Now he's just not healthy. And that's not going to help his case when he's competing for a roster spot with Arian Smith and some of these undrafted free agents like Jamal Pritchett. I think there is a path right now where if he's not ready to go and he's not producing early in training camp, you could be looking at him competing for his job with the Jets, not just for a roster spot. It really is interesting to see what's going to happen with Corley because he has not practiced. He has not been on the field with this offense, and I think that's going to hurt him at the start of training camp.
I definitely want to get more into that during this conversation, but I want to go back to the first player you mentioned. That was Justin Fields. Based on his progression through the OTAs that you watched and minicamp this week, have your expectations for Fields changed at all now going into 2025?
That's a great question. I think they have sort of lowered a little bit. I don't want to say like drastically where this team is going to lose. He's only going to win like 3-4 games. I'm not saying that. This is a very talented team. I think they can still get to 7-8 wins. But from what I saw from him, I saw a lot of the same problems that I saw in Chicago and Pittsburgh. I saw a lot of the taking too long to process, taking too long to read. And again, I think it was Eric Allen who mentioned it on the Jets side. He's like, listen, he's learning a new offense, learning a new system. That thing takes time. It's better for him not to make a mistake, make a bad throw, and take the sack or throw the ball away than anything else. And that's all true. I'm not debating that. But we also have to acknowledge that some of those problems, the holding on to the ball too long, the escaping the pocket a little too early, that was there before he got to New York. So it's not like this isn't something that is brand new where he's learning the offense. I think I want to see a little bit more of him. I want to see a little bit more from him in pads. I did think that he improved with every single practice, every single legitimate practice they had. He got better. His best day came on the final day of true workouts. I mean, yesterday was more of a fun, happy-go-lucky practice. But on Wednesday, he was very good. I thought he was very good. Now, there are some things he'll have to correct, but as of right now, I would certainly like to see a little bit more improvement from Justin Fields at this point.
One of the players you mentioned was Josh Reynolds. You believe he helped his stock during the offseason program? Like, can Jet fans feel a little better about the weapons outside of Garrett Wilson after watching Josh Reynolds up close?
Well, that's a tricky question because I don't think it's going to matter. I really don't, guys, because Josh Reynolds right now. Let's start there. First off, I think he's the early favorite to be wide receiver too. Knows the offense very well. Has had some really good practices. All of that should be taken into account. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter because the wide receiver 2 position in a Justin Fields offense is not really that important. You want to have the number 1 receiver, and you want to have a good tight end, and you obviously want to be able to run the football effectively. So the reads, in my opinion, for Justin Fields are going to be, where's Garrett, where's Mason Taylor, where's the check down, and then I'm going to take off. So the way I look at it right now, everyone's going to be concerned about who's going to be wide receiver 2, who's going to play wide receiver 3. I just don't think that is going to matter throughout the season because it's not what Fields is as a quarterback. It's one read and go. And I mentioned this on a couple other shows this week. That's not a bad thing. You can win with a one read and go quarterback. Can you win a Super Bowl? Of course not. That's not what I'm saying. But you can be successful. You can build a winner with a deficient quarterback going one read and run. You can absolutely do that in the NFL. And it's why the Jets I just don't think they're going to be as concerned of the wide receiver group as many want to be.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. We're talking with Nick Faria in his weekly spot, going through which players raised their stock, which players hurt their stock over the course of the offseason workouts. Another player you mentioned, Nick, Will McDonald. Will McDonald looks good. Will McDonald adding a lot of weight. Now, some of it might be, well, at times he's going up against a rookie and Armand member who's just learning how to be an NFL player. But it just does sound like they like Will McDonald a lot over there. And with him adding weight to be a more well-rounded player, I'm excited to see what he can now do in what will be his 3rd season in the league.
On Thursday's practice, I'll just explain this. Thursday's practice rolls around. He's going up in a scrimmage, and he has a Dwight Freeney spin move that just blows by member. I mean, it wasn't even close. Would have had a sack within 3 to 4 seconds of the play getting started. And I'm being facetious here. I wasn't timing it, but it was insanity. This guy, as an edge rusher, is I think, easily a 10-sack-a-year player moving forward for the rest of his career. He's got an excellent first step. The speed is certainly there, and he's got a number of pass rush moves that work for him. Too many times, I think you look at Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons doesn't really have multiple pass rushing moves. It's more of just a bull rush and using his speed to get an extra step on offensive linemen. Will McDonald has a full set of edge rushing moves, and I think that's what's going to be interesting to see when the pads come on. What does that look like? And again, in fairness to Amram Membu, this is not to say that he was bad during offseason workouts. He's going up against a very good player, and he's not able to really use his physicality without the pads on. So I think, to me, that is an important distinction where, yes, Will McDonald has looked fantastic. I think he was the best player of Jets minicamp, not named Garrett Wilson. And all of that should be taken into account. But let's also see when the pads come on. Is that going to be the case when Membu has that ability, has that a little bit more confidence playing in NFL practices and having the pads come on? Is that going to be the case? That's going to be an interesting battle to watch come training camp time.
Want you to talk about Jamal Pritchard a little more. You mentioned him. Is there a spot for him on the 53? What role could he have?
Well, that comes back to Malachi Corley, because if Corley's fighting for his roster spot, you look right now at the players that I think are right now safe at receiver. Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Tyler Johnson, Reynolds, Arian Smith. You got 5 right now. If Malachi Corley's not healthy, if he's not able to produce on the field, then you could certainly see an argument where some of these undrafted free agent guys were able to step up in a way that is going to earn a spot over him. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not guaranteeing that. But Corley needs to be on the field. Pritchett has been. And Pritchett's made plays when he's been on the field. So it will be an interesting test for Aaron Glenn to essentially show what he is more interested in that 6th receiver role, if you will, from training camp. Is it a player that was drafted before he got here, or was it a player that he really liked as a UDFA and wants an opportunity to compete more? I think even if Pritchett doesn't make the final roster, he will be on this practice squad. I think they're very high on him, and he's performed very, very well, pretty shockingly, through offseason workouts.
Now, I want to talk more about a player that you believe has hurt their stock so far through OTAs and minicamp, and you referenced Brandon Stephens before. I had Antoine Staley on the program the other day, and I asked him, do you think with how AZ Thomas has looked at corner, he's going to get on the field at some point this year? And Antoine said absolutely. He thinks AZ Thomas has looked really, really good. Do you think that AZ Thomas could actually push Brandon Stephens for a starting spot this summer?
I don't think right away. And again, it's difficult. We're talking about practices without pads on. We're talking about offensive schemes without pads on and that physicality. And that's kind of Stephens' game, that physicality. Same thing with AZ Thomas. But to me, the way that I look at it, I don't think the Jets are just going to put AZ Thomas in a starting role week 1. I think they want to gradually build up to that moment. So I think Stephens is going to be set at cornerback 1 alongside Sauce Gardner, at least to begin training camp and the start of the regular season. Now, that could totally change if he comes out slow and gets burned in training camp a bunch of times and really struggles at the start of the season. I could certainly see a change happen. But as of right now, it's hard for me to say that a replacement's coming right away to start training camp. I just don't think that's where the Jets are going to go in that role.
If you're watching the show live, click the like button. We did, in fact, announce the 4 winners of our Broadway Joe full-size raffle. Congrats to Rick Kent on winning the grand prize. Indy Jets, yikes, on winning the Clyde Frazier jersey. I got to work with him on a different Jet-related prize, so a Pacer fan doesn't get a Knicks legend jersey. Kevin Mawai signed jersey. That went to listener Frank P., and the Bart Scott jersey went to the great Bo C. At the end of the show, I'm going to give away one more prize. Daily raffle, another Kevin Mawai signed jersey. We will give that away at the end of the show. So gift away to be entered. And I'm going to spoil what the top prize in next week's ASMANIAC Raffle is. Raffle 29 features another Broadway Joe item. This time, a signed Joe Namath football. So if you want the Namath football, giveaway, and you'll be entered not just in the daily raffle at the end of this show, but in next week's weekly raffle. Keeping it up with the strong prizes. Thank you guys again for all your support. A couple super chats, and then I want to get more into some of the comments made by Aaron Glenn, Paris Hall, Sauce Gardner, a lot of news and notes coming out of some of these press conferences. WD with the super chat here. He says 6-win team unless Fields improves on third down and fourth quarter passer rating. Wins rest with Fields improvement. Go Jets. I think a big part of the Jets going from like a 6-win floor to fighting for a playoff spot, 9-10 wins, is what level of quarterback play they do get from Justin Fields. I don't think there's any way around that.
No, 100%. I think the talent on this team is really good. And the coaching, in my belief, from what I've seen through offseason workouts, is an upgrade from last year, over the last couple of years. All of that should help. But it's going to come down to the quarterback. If Justin Fields cannot win from the pocket, this team is not going to go very far. If Justin Fields cannot make smart decisions with the football and fire the football accurately to his receivers consistently enough, they are going to struggle. So I agree with this comment. I think 6 wins, 7. I think that 6, 7, 8 win mark, if Fields is pretty much where he was in Chicago and Pittsburgh, is probably where the Jets are going to be at. But there's also a chance that he does improve. And I mentioned it before on this show. He has improved with every practice. So I am trying to be fair here and say that he's gotten better the more he understands this offense. If that continues going into training camp, absolutely this team could be a lot better than people expect. But it's going to come down to Fields as expected.
Allen says that the talent on the roster is bottom third in the league. Sad but true.
I don't agree with that. I think this talent is the talent on this team is very underrated. Garrett Wilson's a number 1 receiver. I've argued with everyone about it. He's a clear-cut number 1 receiver. You've got a number 1 corner. You've got a really good offensive line, good defensive players. You have all-pro talent at every level of the defense. Very few teams have that kind of ability and that kind of talent. Yes, there are some questions on the roster. We don't know what Justin Fields is going to look like. We don't know the safety room. We don't know what Mason Taylor is going to be like. But let's be honest here. There are a lot of bad teams in this league. I don't like what I've seen from New Orleans. I throw a coin on what the New York Giants are going to be like. We have no idea what the Patriots are going to be like. The Dolphins have taken a massive step back. There's a path here for the Jets to be a lot better than many expect, but it's going to come down to the quarterback. And I'm not going to make a decision and say that this team is going to be great or this team is going to be bad from OTAs. It's too early to make that distinction.
I think that's a trash take. Bottom 3 talent-wise?
I completely disagree with that.
No way. There's just no way. Find me teams that have a first-team All-Pro defensive tackle, linebacker, and corner on that side of the ball. Have a Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. The Jets' O-line has a chance to be a top 10 unit conservatively in the league this year. They got bookend tackles. They got a legit center, 2 legit guards. They don't have the quarterback necessarily. We don't know what the quarterback is, but talent-wise, there's no way you could say this is a bottom 3 roster. Quarterback just moves the needle for so many of these teams when we evaluate them. That's the difference. I think the Jets have a more talented roster than Cincinnati, but you take the Bengals because they got Joe Burrow. So that's
actually a really good debate there.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's defense is awful. Their offensive line is awful.
That's what I'm saying.
They're going to lose a lot of games this year because of both. And again, you put Joe Burrow on this Jets team, you're a Super Bowl contender.
You're a Super Bowl
right
contender.
Away.
Yeah.
Right away. Because this team's got a lot of talent. It really, really does. I just don't. The Justin Fields question is big. We don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know what the safety position is going to look like and the depth along the defensive line. That's also a question. Those are things that keep this team from being a perennial playoff contender. If you get the quarterback right, it changes a lot.
Totally agree. Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Big fella wants to know, Nick, is Sauce Gardner a good teammate?
I would certainly say so, considering he wants a long-term extension, and instead of pulling a Terry McLaurin or a TJ Watt, he's here. He was there all offseason. So I would certainly say he's a damn good teammate. Because he is showing his team that he is willing to do whatever it takes to not only get his deal, but help turn this thing around.
Super chat from Basquelino. Hey, Jake and Nick. In talks opinion, do you think the remedy will be Klarna for the Adam Gase things Glenn will have to go through. I don't know what this means.
I'm a little confused.
If we could get an interpreter on this super chat, it would be appreciated. Thank you.
I think what he's saying is there karma from the Adam Gase era that Glenn will have to go through?
I don't know.
I apologize. I don't understand.
Thank you for the super chat. If you could explain it further, we will do our best to try and answer it. AD checks in with a super chat. AD was the reason why the raffle ran late. The man dropped a $100 spot for last second entries. AD, I got you down for 20 for our daily raffle at the end of the show. If Fields could be as good or better than Jalen Hurts, we'll be in good shape. I don't think Jalen is a stellar passer either. Your thoughts on Fields versus Jalen Hurts? Obviously, Hurts has gotten a lot better. He's on a much better team. But, I mean, Hurts had a lot of the similar questions that Fields has had in his career about processing and his ability to be able to throw and win from the pocket.
So from where Jalen Hurts is now comparing to Justin Fields, I think is ludicrous because Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP because he wins from the pocket. You look at his numbers; he's top 5 in every statistical category from the pocket. So he is a pocket passer now. So I want to clear that up. But first, in 2021, when Jalen Hurts was the first starter in Philly, he was given the starting role that year. He was a very deficient passer, kind of like Justin Fields. Didn't have the strongest arm, wasn't very accurate. Anticipation was off. The team wasn't that good around him. He had a good offensive line, but questions at receiver, questions at running back, and the defense was an eyesore. They won 9 games because Jalen Hurts had incremental improvements, and they focused on the running game. They started 2-5. They finished 9-8. I think there's a similar path here where the Jets can go that mirrors those 2021 Eagles. The offensive line is good. The defense is going to be better. The running game is going to be good. And if you throw the ball to Garrett Wilson, kind of like what Philadelphia did with Devontae Smith in his rookie year with Dallas Goedert as the number 2, you're looking at a team that kind of mirrors those 2021 Eagles. So the way that I look at it, comparing Fields to Hurts now, ludicrous. But comparing Fields to 2021 Jalen Hurts, I think that's very fair, and I think a big reason why the Jets can be a lot better than people expect.
David wants your thoughts on the Jets tight ends. Give us your evaluation on the tight end room through the offseason.
I really like Mason Taylor. I really like Stone Smart as well, man. Every time I look at him, I see the 84, and I instantly think of Shannon Sharp because he's a little bit bigger. He's not a true receiver, but he's a little bit undersized for a tight end. It's pretty funny about that. But I really like Stone Smart. I think he's an efficient player, certainly someone that they could use in the passing game. And I mentioned Taylor before. He's been fantastic. The big question is going to be Jeremy Ruckert. I think he's looked good in OTAs and mandatory minicamp, but is he the kind of receiver that can be a tight end 2 on this roster? Can he be the kind of blocker that gets in 3 tight end situations? I don't know. We're going to need to see the pads to come on. Those are some big questions that need to be answered, certainly, because Fields is a former third-round pick. But as things stand right now, to me, this is Mason Taylor's position, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon.
Jay writes, and the Namath football is not deflated like the Brady one would be. That is true. The football I am mailing to a winner next week, the Namath football, it is not deflated. You want to hear prize 2, Jet fans, Asmaniacs? Next week's top prize, in addition to the Broadway Joe signed football, is a Revis Island, Darrelle Revis signed football as well. So those are the top 2 prizes in next week's raffle. Gift away to be entered, plus end of the show, one more prize to give away this week, a signed Kevin Mawai Jets jersey. So if you want in, gift the channel membership or send in a $10 super chat or higher to be eligible. Big fellow with a question for you. He says, Nick, who lines up next to Quinnen on the defensive line? Yeah, break down the defensive tackle situation next to Quinnen Williams.
It's going to be moving pieces like always the last few years, but I really liked what I've seen from Byron Coward. I thought he made a couple of really good stuffs against the run in practice over the last week. I thought he's been very, very good throughout the offseason workout schedule. If I were to make a guess, I would say probably him and Quinnen are probably going to be the starters week 1. If Noddy is just going in for run situations. But I've been very high on what I've seen from Cowher to this point.
Be interesting to see if someone really establishes themselves once the pads come on. One thing I did want to ask you about too, Aaron Glenn is going to have this team having the most physical training camp we've seen from a Jet regime in years. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of like full-on tackling this summer, which I agree with. I mean, this team was awful at tackling and pursuing the ball last year, and I think the idea that they're being taught way more fundamentals, which Robbie Sabo reported on the show the other day, I like that from Glenn. I like the idea of, yeah, sure, there could be the risk of some injuries. I get that, but I like, hey, if you're going to play tackle football, guess what? You got to practice tackle football. And Glenn made it sound like it's going to be a very physical, full-on tackling camp.
It's not going to be fully. I want to clarify that because he did mention, he's like, we're not going to do it every day because you want to make sure that you still have a roster by the end of the year. But it honestly kind of reminded me of Mike Tomlin's first training camp in 2007. You got to remember, when Tomlin took the job in Pittsburgh, he was replacing a Super Bowl champion, a Hall of Famer in Bill Cowher. And Cowher ran his practices a specific way. He did things his own way. Tomlin came in, and Ben Roethlisberger said it. Heath Miller said it. A lot of the Steelers defenders said it. They came in and had one of the more physical training camps that they have ever experienced in their lives. And a big reason for that was because he wanted to make sure that everyone knew the Pittsburgh Steelers were Mike Tomlin's team. They were not Bill Cowher's team. They were not Chuck Noll's team. They were Mike Tomlin's team. So that kind of first training camp, as physical as it was an important step for him to gain the respect of the Steelers locker room, but also dictate that it was his team. He was the one that was going to be making decisions moving forward. I kind of see a similar plan for Aaron Glenn. This is not going to be some coddle session where everyone's going to be happy with the coaching staff and everyone's going to love how nice the coaching staff is to everyone. They're in there to do a job, and they're going to get better each and every single day, whether it's in one facet of the game or another. It does not matter. They're going to get better. There's going to be those improvements. So the way that I see it, that kind of training camp, instantly when he said that, really told me that he wants to do things very similar to what Mike Tomlin did when he first got the job in Pittsburgh.
Zach Cartwright is in the raffle. He has gifted 5 channel memberships.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Thank you very much, Zach. The following 5 people are channel members now: Ron Weiss, Fendi 007, Edward Caban, Philip Rizak Jr., and Jeff, all receiving channel memberships. I got another entry here. Nick's favorite, Ricky NY, gifting a channel membership.
You get the fuck out.
Ricky, thank you. Your membership went to listener Michael Beckerman. We'll get you in our daily raffle for the Mawai jersey at the end of the show. Let's talk specifically now about Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, both saying they want to be Jets. They want to be Jets for life. It was Sauce's turn at the podium yesterday. I have a clip I want to play for you to react to. This was Sauce Gardner being asked about showing up the mandatory camp and being asked about his future.
Man, I just wanted to show my teammates, show the coaches how much I'm bought into this, man. I want to win. I want to change the organization. I want to be a part of changing the organization. You know, we got a new regime, you know, AG, his whole coaching staff that he brought in, Moogie, you know, just great guys. And I feel like Mr. Johnson did a great job of getting those type of guys to be here, and I feel like they're doing a great job in changing the culture for sure.
Your thoughts on that answer there from Sauce?
It happened quicker than I thought it would. Aaron Glenn has completely earned the respect of this roster. They are all in. Glenn also mentioned a time where he spoke to Quincy Williams during these practices, and Quincy even said, you know, it shocked him. No one complained about the scheme. No one complained about the practice regimen. No one was, quote unquote, bitching about something or another. And it's because of what Aaron Glenn has been able to do. He's been able to find the balance that Robert Saleh, in my opinion, never could. He's balancing the active teacher, the authoritarian, making sure that things are done the correct way, but also the sort of brother on the side, the father figure of, listen, let's talk. Let's talk about what's bothering you, what's going on. He mentioned a couple of times where he would have a conversation with the player and he would learn what buttons to push for that particular player. So you are seeing Aaron Glenn as a master player manipulator in that way, where he can get the best out of those players every single day and moving forward. So this has been a very strong offseason workout session for Aaron Glenn. It's year one. We need to see what it looks like on the field, of course. But very, very early on, you are seeing a change in how New York does things from a coaching perspective.
I hope they get deals done with both. It sounds like we're trending in a positive direction for both Sauce
It's gonna happen.
and Garrett. It makes too much sense. You have the money. These are the guys you want to pay. Like the idea of like, oh, then what do we do about future cap? I mean, first off, you're not paying your quarterback a lot of money right now. And even if Fields ends up being the guy, he's not going to be nearly what some of the other top franchise quarterbacks are in the league. And if he's not the guy, we have a rookie starting on a rookie deal for 5 years beginning next year. So, like, come on, man. These are the guys you pay. They're really good players. And if you don't pay them, you end up going into free agency, and that leads you to guys like Tremaine Johnson and Le'Veon Bell. So the money's going to be spent either way. You're better off spending it on guys that you know at the bare minimum are damn good football players who want to be here.
$30 million, Sauce and Garrett, and you move forward. It's not really that difficult. It's really not. Get these guys' contracts done early enough so that way you can jump ahead, where in 3 years, those contracts are bargains. They really are going to be. So I fully expect these deals to be done this offseason. Even if it's a week before the regular season, it's going to happen. They're going to lock them up. These are two players that are the building blocks for the future of this franchise. And I don't see any path right now that tells me that the Jets are going to go into this season without Sauce and Garrett Wilson on their rookie deals.
To me, while Sauce's contract is easier to get done, I think Garrett should be more of a priority, but I think both ultimately are good to get done. I do think it to me, just reading through the tea leaves, I think they're actually closer with Sauce than Garrett because of the fact it's an easier deal to do. Like Derek Stingley got paid. He reset the market. Sauce through 3 years has been a first-team All-Pro twice. Stingley's done it once. I think next guy up, cap goes up 20% every year. Like I would offer Sauce a penny more than Stingley and call it a day.
You need to have great players. I say this so many times on the show. 5 positions you need to make sure you have a top player. Corner and wide receiver are at the top of that list. Pay these guys. There's no reason not to. You need a number one corner to be successful in the NFL now, to build a successful team. The Jets have that. You don't have to worry about drafting a number one corner again because you have Sauce Gardner right now. So the way that I look at it, pay these guys $30 million and move on. It's really not that complex.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Green Gang is in on the raffle. Thank you, Green Gang. He has gifted 5 channel memberships. By the way, shout out to everyone who attended the Little Joey birthday spectacular on Gator's channel yesterday. It was a who's who of Asmaniacs showing up for Little Joey, which was just a heartwarming experience to be a part of, Dick. Let me tell you. Thomas Cross, Miguel Blanco, David Rivera, James Falls, and Alex all receiving channel memberships from Green Gang. Green Gang, thank you very much. The Meadowlands Swamp Thing, who's been an Asmaniac for 11 months using his free Asmaniac Super Chat. Way too early prediction. Is Aaron Glenn the guy?
I never want to make these distinctions too early, but he certainly looks like it. He's certainly talking like it, and he's certainly acting like it. There's no bravado like Rex Ryan. There's no, I don't want to say fakeness, but I guess just there's no identity crisis like with Robert Saleh. He looks like what he's been for decades now as an NFL player turned scout turned coach. I think he is. I really do, because the way that he is instructing practices, the way that he's talking to these players, if he can get these guys to play well, this conversation is going to be a lot different next offseason.
Rick Kent says, I just got here. Was at an early dentist appointment. Well, Rick, congratulations. If you didn't see it, you won the full-sized Broadway Joe Namath helmet. So, Rick, congratulations. We're happy for you. The breaking news, Rick Kent, dentist appointment, full-sized Broadway Joe helmet.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Congratulations, Rick. I will get that sent out to you this upcoming week. And once again, For those who missed it, we did, in fact, do our raffle at the beginning of the show today. So if you were entered in raffle 28, all 4 of the winners were announced for the 4 prizes. We are on to raffle number 29 next week, which our top prize features a Broadway Joe signed football and a Darrelle Revis signed football. Plus, end of the show, if you want to get in on another daily raffle opportunity, I'll send someone a signed with authenticated Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame jersey. So gift away to be a part of it. We got a super chat here from Jason who wants to know, what differences do you see between Glenn and Todd Bowles?
Energy. Just the way that he talks, the passion is there. Listen, Todd Bowles, really good coach, really good defensive coach. I was there for a couple of press conferences. You can tell the difference between Todd Bowles talking to the media and Aaron Glenn. Let's just put it that way.
How about Glenn and what you've seen from OTAs and minicamp versus what you saw from Robert Saleh covering him on the beat the last couple of years?
It's just more instructional. It's just more instructional, the more intentional in what they're doing. The passion is certainly there. I kind of mentioned it when Robert Saleh was talking as Jets head coach. It wasn't the same fire that was there in San Francisco. Now, part of it was because the team wasn't very good to start. There wasn't a lot of talent on that roster in 2021, but the passion wasn't there. The passion is always there with Aaron Glenn. He is who he is. And I really look at it in a way where the Jets are very lucky to have Aaron Glenn as their coach when you look at some of these other guys that have been hired, because the way that he is running these practices, this is a guy that's never been a head coach before, but he knows how to do it because he was creating the practice schedules with the Detroit Lions. He talked about that yesterday. He's been working with offenses. He's been talking to offensive players. So he understands how to get in the mind of offensive geniuses. He's been a part of great coaching staffs. He worked under Bill Parcells and Sean Payton. He was a part of a really good team in Detroit. He's never been a head coach. But this isn't like someone who's never done it before and is coming in wide-eyed. He knows what he's doing much differently than some of these other guys are.
Derek the Cop says, Bobby's still salty. More people cared about a rodent than his show. Wow. Derek the Cop going up and in on Bobby Midnight.
What happened with Bobby?
Well, I'll say this, right? And I called Bobby out, and I see Black Gypsy took note in the comments here. Jake and Bobby were beefing yesterday, as always. Bobby Midnight went live at the exact same time that the Little Joey birthday spectacular on Gator's YouTube channel got underway. And I thought it was very disrespectful of Bobby. First off, he never calls into this show anymore, and this show put him on the map. So one time Gator's going live, first time he's ever gone live with any sort of content related to the ASMANIAC community specifically. And I thought it was disrespectful for Bob to go on at the same time as the Little Joey birthday spectacular. And I know he felt guilty because during his show, he called into the Little Joey birthday spectacular to wish Little Joey a happy birthday. And I know there were a lot of people, I won't name names, who reached out and were disappointed. So I felt like I needed to say something to Bobby. So if you call that beefing, Black Gypsy, then fine, we're beefing. But I'm backing Gator, and I'm backing Little Joey and Beast over what I thought Bobby did yesterday. I didn't think it was right.
Hard to argue with that.
I mean, come on, man. It's how often do you get to attend a guinea pig's birthday party? And it was a great time. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Rick Kent, who already won the full-size Broadway Joe helmet, he is back for more. He has gifted 5 channel memberships. Rick, you are the man.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following 5 people are now channel members: SD Jet Fan, Joe Giamo, Emilio Renovato, Joseph Quitant, Derek Saunders, all receiving channel memberships from our guy, Rick Kent. Rick, thank you. We'll get you in the daily raffle as well. Let's see. Big fellow with a super chat. Joe Namath needs a Rick Kent autographed. Legend. I agree. Rick is the man. And Rick, I believe, will be joining us in Tampa for any ASMANIACs who are coming down for the Jets-Bucks games with all of us. Black Gypsy's got a question. He says, hey, Jake, ask Faria, if we lose to the Steelers and Rodgers in a bad way, how will it affect how the team looks at Aaron Glenn?
It's a great question. I don't think there's going to be any change. I really, really don't, because the way Aaron Glenn talks, he's not talking right now about we need to win week one, where we need to be successful for a full 17-game season. I kind of mentioned this last time I was on the show. If the Jets go out and lose to Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, but come back and shock the Buffalo Bills week two, which has happened before. It's not like Josh Allen's been fantastic at MetLife Stadium. What's the outlook on Aaron Glenn? Of course, always we're talking about if the team is able to win, then the coaching staff will do things a lot easier, and there's going to be an easier way for players to buy in. But as of right now, the Jets have completely bought into Aaron Glenn. It's hard for me to say that those players will jump ship after a week one loss. It's very hard for me to say that, even with Rodgers. The fan base might, the players will not.
Well, I think the key is for this regime to get out to a good start, though. Obviously, you want to win week one. It's Rodgers and all that. But you could survive that if you come around and beat the Bills the following week, right? Like to me, you have to get out to a good start because you have total buy-in right now. But if they don't start to see results, I mean,
take advantage of it, absolutely.
Yeah, it's human nature. Like, you're gonna be like, did we really get better by moving? Especially if the Steelers are good, like they always are, at least in the regular season. And it's like we really moved on from Aaron Rodgers for Justin Fields. If Fields is struggling and Rodgers is playing well, which I would not be surprised at all if Rodgers, another year off the Achilles, is capable of being a good quarterback again next year.
The Pittsburgh Steelers have had some struggles week one as well. They're a team that can be beat on the road week one to start a season. So let's just put that out there as well. This is not the Jets are going to lose by 40 because it's Pittsburgh and Rodgers. They have a chance to win that game. But I do agree. Listen, a big calling card for right now for Glenn is that a lot of people believe he's going to be better schematically, a better coach, and his coaching staff is going to be better than Robert Saleh's was. If they're unable to win early because of coaching mistakes, that's going to be an issue. That's going to be a question that Glenn will have to answer. And the Bill Parcells way of talking about things won't really work if you're not winning. So it's going to be a very early test for Glenn and his coaching staff and his regime early in this first month and a half of the season.
Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is open. Reminder, join the Patreon if you haven't already. $6 a month. You get bonus shows, your name added to the intro, discounts, and priority to exclusive events, including all the info for Tampa. 20% off every item in the merch store. If you need a last-second Father's Day gift, check it out. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's open up the phone line right now, and we will bring on our first caller. And this is a guy that you have to decide, where is he calling from? Is he inside or is he outside?
How are you, gentlemen?
Mr. Clifton.
So I think that we typically overrate our talent on the whole, and that Allen is underrating our talent. We're probably somewhere in the middle. I think that the point was made by one of you two gentlemen, I can't remember which one it was, that the quarterback is a major problem as far as, equalizing the disparity between us and some of the other teams in the league. So we have to see what Fields is there. But if you go around the rest of the position groups, I mean, even the depth that we have on the offensive line is better than it's been in past years. Obviously, the running back room looks like it's pretty deep. To me, the secondary looks like it's pretty deep, and it should be improved with coaching and with the addition of guys like Cisco and the drafting of Moore. I think that we're probably somewhere dead middle of the pack, right?
Which will be an upgrade.
Which would be an upgrade. Allen is, of course, an edgelord, and he's a heel on the show, and he has his views and wants to keep us all in check, and there's some value in that. But I would say this would be one of the cases where, we have to wait and see. Like, I think that there's a good possibility that AZ and Stevens could be an upgrade over
Alan, go fuck yourself.
Oh, sorry, it slipped.
No, it's fine. DJ Reed was not good last year. But especially in the second half of the year, he was checked out. So let's see how some of these players that we brought in and how the coaching takes, and before we start saying that we're worse than the Giants, the Titans, some of these other teams that are clearly below us in the pecking order. Saints. Thanks, guys.
Kyle, great call. I just think the roster is actually underrated from a talent standpoint. I still stand by that, Nick. I just think the biggest question, once again, it gets back to what we were saying about Fields, and even beyond that, the offensive coaching staff in general, because Fields can maybe not be great, but if they have great schemes and the O-line is coached up and they could have an effective running game, we know Fields is elite with the ball in his hands. Bare minimum, you can win games with him, Brees, and a balanced rushing attack and a defense that's opportunistic and forces turnovers. But that's a lot of emphasis on coaching if you're not going to get lifted up by your quarterback, who could basically be, I like to describe a franchise quarterback as deodorant. It could erase a lot of the stench that you might have on your team. It's the great equalizer. It can mask a lot of your issues when you get great quarterback play to cover up for other areas. So I can't expect Justin Fields to be a great quarterback. He's never been one.
2 years ago, this team was good enough to make the playoffs, but needed a quarterback. And that was the big thing. They needed a quarterback. So the Jets went out and got the best one available, Aaron Rodgers. Well, that didn't work. But the majority of this core from that team is still here. They've gotten better along the offensive line. They've gotten better in the secondary, better in linebacker, better at running back. There's a lot of talent here. And they are still, in my opinion, a quarterback away. Last year, they were a quarterback and coach away. But it seems like they have the coach. So now it comes down to Justin Fields. If he can perform at a high level, I think the Jets can be a playoff team. If he doesn't, they're not going to be. It really is that simple.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, we love when this man comes through for the people. The great Mike D's Nuts has gifted 5-channel membership.
Bang! Thank you, Mike D. Nuts.
Is this Mike D's Nuts?
These gift memberships are on fire.
All right, here are the 5 people who just got a channel membership from Mike. Mike, hope you're doing well, my friend. Thank you for the support. Roy Cullamullin, Steve V, Jeremy Ovale, Alan Sucks, Ronald Lake, and Soldiers of God, all receiving a channel membership. We got 300 people in here watching and only 100 likes, so click that thumbs up button if you haven't. That helps the YouTube algorithm show this show to hopefully more Jet fans out there. Nick, do you have time for one last call?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Charleston Jetsrube is next. Hello, Charleston.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Jake, thanks as always. And Nick, I gotta say, man, I love you coming on. You and Dylan, I think, are my 2 favorite guys. But I love the fact that you're not a Jets fan, and you're not unrealistic with your takes. But I love your positivity about the season coming up. So I definitely appreciate that. One thing that I'm super positive about is, we've all heard about Will McDonald and the 15 pounds, but my goodness, the last couple of days with these press conferences, Brees Hall looks like a beast. Jermaine Johnson, my God, the guy's busting at the seams. You've got, Ruckert even looked huge. You got all these guys.
Great mustache, too, by the way.
Weight. What's
Maybe
that?
If Ruckert turned his career around this year, people will say, oh, he's playing with Justin Fields again. No, it's his mustache.
but the thing that's the most positive, I think, if you talk about our defense last year, is we couldn't tackle our way out of anything. It seemed like we missed tackle after missed tackle after missed tackle. And you know what? It seemed like the last couple of years there is absolutely no physicality in our practices. And I know we haven't put pads on, but the way everybody's talking, this is going to be just a bunch of physical in your face practices. And Man, but between the weight these guys have put on, I'm hoping to God we don't lose some of our speed, because that's one thing we did have was a lot of speed. But if we can keep that speed
Oh,
and
the speed's
improve
there on
that tackling, I mean, I don't think it's unrealistic to expect a top 3 defense. I really don't, because Jake, as you say all the time, what other team has all pro levels on all three sides of things? I mean, I'm I'm still a little nervous about the offense, but man, I really think that we're going to kill it on the defense. I'm super excited for that. Just kind of a take of what you talked earlier. I think what's happened with Mr. Midnight over the last few months is he's just getting really, really jealous of Beast.
Wow.
I think that's what's going on. I think he's got Beast envy. And one other quick take I want to make about the offense, then I'll let you go. Nick, I know you're going to be heading out, so I'm really glad you put me on before you left, because Nick, I think you're doing a great job. But man, thinking back to last year, the last 4, 5, 6 games when they finally started giving Isaiah Davis a chance, man, he looked freaking good. And I know we've been talking about all 3 running backs, but I really, really, really think Isaiah Davis is going to be a big, big deal in this offense this year. But anyways, love y'all. As always, love you, Jake. Have a great day.
Charleston, great call. What do you think of the accusation there that Bobby Midnight is jealous of Beastbreaker?
I haven't seen Bobby on a call recently, so I can't make that distinction. I don't want to make a distinction like that, but it happens. It happens. We're all human.
I think he's onto something. Bobby doesn't call this show anymore. He only called a record low 7 times in the month of May, according to Boomtown Stats and Information, our resident ASMANIAC statistician. I'm very taken aback by what Bobby did yesterday to Gator, who has done more for his channel than anyone, other than maybe Nick Shine.
Well, Gator's a fantastic guy. He's helped pretty much everyone out, including myself. So a little surprising, I would say. Absolutely.
What a politician Nick is. All right. Last super chat for you, and then we'll let you go, Nick. Appreciate you always hopping on with us here on Fridays. Big fella says, Nick, how are the kicker and punter situation? Break down the state of special teams for the Jets.
It's still a work in progress. I think right now, kicker, I would say Anders Carlson probably is the favorite right now at kicker. But there's also a very good chance that the starting punter and kicker for week 1 is not on this roster. I want to wait and see a little bit more to determine that. But I think right now, Carlson's probably in the lead. Cade Davis really struggled over the last couple of days. So wait and see period as always. But, again, like I said, there's a chance that these guys aren't even on the roster in a month.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. I see Indy Jets is in the chat. Indy, I just emailed you. Check your email. You won a Walt Clyde Frazier Knicks jersey. You are a Pacers fan. So I'm hoping that you will agree to my proposal. I said I will send you a different signed Jets jersey instead of the Clyde Frazier jersey. I figured that would make more sense. And then I will raffle away the Clyde jersey again. And we will hopefully be able to get it to an actual Knicks fan for that one. By the way, second time that's happened. The last time I had a Clyde Frazier jersey, a Nuggets fan won it, Green Gang, and instead we sent him a CJ Mosley signed Jets jersey. So appreciate that, Green Gang.
Good deal,
man. Mike D's nuts in the house. Me and Beast have mended our friendship, but it's always F.U. Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, a salient point made by the great Mike D's nuts.
I wonder.
Sorry, go ahead.
I wonder if Allen was just a little bit more, I don't want to say subjective, but just as a matter of like, man, I think this, I think that. Would that change what people think about it? Because he kind of makes these definitive statements of like, this is what it is. The Jets have a bottom 3 roster in the NFL. Most people will disagree with that, but it's the definitive points that he makes, I think, that gets people angry. If he is less definitive in his takes, does he have a better outlook amongst his fan base? I think maybe, yes.
Maybe, but he goes out of his way to just be an a-hole to people. That's the issue.
Yeah, I can't help that.
Nick, we appreciate your time as always, man. Great job. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for hopping on.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Nick Faria, read his work, Jets X Factor, Athlon Sports. Follow him on Twitter as well. All right. Maybe we'll do a live negotiation right now. Indy Jets has called in. His Pacers are 2 wins away from the NBA championship, and he just won a Knicks jersey. Go figure. Hello, Indy Jets.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? You know, I like the idea of swapping it, but let me put this out there. Just because I love your Asmaniac community, and most of them are Knicks fans, right? Or
I would say most Jet fans are Knicks fans. Yes.
Right. So what I would like to propose is, you know how us Asmaniacs love to vote on shit.
Yep.
So let's take 4 of your biggest Knicks fans, guys that you know, like PBM. I'm just using his as an example.
Okay.
And let's put a poll out there and let your Asmaniacs decide who gets the jersey.
Ooh.
And whoever your Asmaniacs vote for is who you send it to.
I like that idea a lot. Okay. Now, but I still want you to be rewarded for winning a prize. So
that'll be my reward. Send me a Jake Asman coffee cup. I think this would be a really entertaining to figure out. Narrow it down to 4 Knicks fans. And then go, okay, we're going to let the Asmaniacs decide who gets, instead of being let them decide who gets. We haven't had a voting forever, so let them decide who gets that jersey.
I like this. Okay, well,
I think it'd be very disrespectful if I took it, because I wouldn't share the glory in having that jersey as in some other people. So I think it would be a great idea. I just wanted to run that by you.
I love it. That is a great idea. Now, I appreciate you just saying, just send me a coffee cup. I'm going to send you a Jets item. I think you're going to like it. I'll surprise you with it. But
surprise me.
I appreciate your generosity there. Now, the question is, how do I narrow it down to 4? Now, off the top of my head, I think the biggest Knicks fans who call this show are King Lowski, Mr. Bonesy,
there's one,
Purple Belt
Bonesy.
Mike, and I need
3.
one more. I need one more.
I like those 3. So you pick a 4th one, and then let the Asmaniacs decide. Yep. How about that?
I will rely on the chat for this, but Indy, I think you make a great idea. We will run it up the poll. Maybe we'll do it. If I could get a 4th, maybe we'll do it before the end of this show, because on the second show today, I want all the attention to be on the Charles Gorman Shave of Champions that's coming up.
That's that poll will not top anything Charles will do. Whatever he will do, there's nothing that will top that. So yeah, if you're good with that, Jake, I'm good with that. Let a Knicks fan enjoy, and a nice jersey. I won I don't know if you saw it on Boy Green, but me and Scotty had a bet. During the Knicks game, whoever won, I had to buy him my brain's going. A Knicks jersey, and he had to buy me a Halliburton jersey if the Pacers won.
I love it. Well, at least you're getting some sort of jersey.
Yeah, so the jersey will be here tomorrow. And so, I think it's great that if a Knicks fan should own that jersey.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be disrespectful that I don't want it, but I think that other people would. There's other guys that would far, enjoy that than me.
I love it. Indy, you're the man. Appreciate you, man. Good luck. I don't like the Pacers,
thanks, Jake.
but I respect you, so good luck tonight.
Thanks, Jake.
Indy Jets, check it in. All right. I think we got to figure out how we want to do this here. So for me, King Lowski, Bonesy, PBM, I think they got to be in it. But, I mean, how do you determine who's a bigger Knicks fan, right? That's so hard to do. I think Nate is a great one. Rick Kent is a huge Knicks fan. I see Rick just sent in a super chat. Not for nothing, but none of those great people mentioned ever saw Walt Frazier play. That is true. Gary, we know, is Mr. Nick. Maybe we'll just send him a Mikal Bridges jersey just for the hell of it. Man, you know what? I'll tell you what. I want to put Genergy in this as well. This is tough for me to narrow it down to 4. I think the only way that I could actually do this, what if I spin the wheel 4 times and that determines who's in it? We'll just put together a list of all the Knicks fans that care about the show. And now, look, I understand that Nate says it has to go to someone who saw Clyde. I understand that, and I would agree under normal circumstances. That makes sense. But Walt Clyde Frazier is synonymous with all different generations of Knicks fans. He's been the Knicks radio and TV announcer since the 90s with Breen on both radio and TV, right? So you could appreciate Walt Clyde Frazier. He's in the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. He's had 2 Hall of Fame careers, if you think about it. So I think it doesn't necessarily need to go to someone that was obviously alive and saw Walt Clyde Frazier play, because he's one of the more famous broadcasters out there. Everyone knows Clyde. If you're a Knicks fan of a certain age, he's the only announcer you know. So here's what I have right now. Rick Kent, Mr. Bonesy, Nate, King Lowski, Purple Belt Mike, Genergy. Am I missing any? Oh, Anthony, definitely. Anthony L. Got to put Anthony in there. He's a huge Knicks fan, 100%. I'm reading the chat right now. Rick says, Jake, I don't want to be in it. Are you sure, Rick? We're still putting you in it. I don't care. You do too much for this channel to not deserve it. I think that's fair. Am I missing any other Knicks fans here? Thunderlips. I think Thunderlips. Should we add Thunderlips? Why not? I'm putting Peter Castro in there too. Castro was always blowing up my phone during all the Knicks games. And he saw Walt Clyde Frazier play as well. Big fella. Doesn't Big fella deserve to be in there? Big fella, Jalen Brunson. They had the meeting of the minds. I think the big fella deserves to be in there. I'm going to add big fella here. This is very unique. Only this show could have something like this. Indy Jets, the man. Love this. All right. I got the names here. Let's determine. I got 10 names for 4 spots because YouTube only lets you run a poll of 4 people. 4 options. So, here we go. I'm going to pull up the wheel again. And once again, we will determine which 4 will be in the Walt Clyde Frazier bonus raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And guess what? If we're doing a raffle, I need dramatic music. Here we go. 4 names will be added to the poll. Name number 1. Rick Kent. Name number 2. Genergy. Name number 3. Peter Castro. And finally, our last contestant. Thunderlips. All right. The results are the results. We have Thunderlips, Peter Castro, Genergy, and Rick Kent. The 4 names before Rick Kent's name again. That was from the raffle at the beginning of the show. So, you can see the names. These are the 4 right here. I highlighted them. We're going to put that up in a poll. And at the end of the show, I will close the poll. And someone will get the Clyde Frazier jersey that Indy Jets was nice enough to say, hey, let's make sure a real Knicks fan gets this. Here we go. Typing out the poll right now. Who should get the signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. This is the ultimate popularity contest right now. Rick Kent. Genergy. Peter Castro. Thunder Lips. 2 of the 4 actually saw Walt play as a player with the Knicks. Ladies and gentlemen, voting is officially open. In the first ever raffle prize poll where you, the audience, determines who is going to win. And since we are doing a poll for old time's sake, it is necessary for me to play this. Vote, vote, vote. Good luck. I will close the poll at the end of the show. Which Asmaniac do you want to see get the Walt Clyde Frazier jersey that Indy Jets won? You let us know. All right, back to your calls. Here we go. Let's say hello right now to Rob the Jet fan. What's up, Rob?
Hey, Jake. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, Rob?
I'm just calling in and stuff. I was listening to Nick, listening to Frank V a while back, and that was hilarious the way he just kept on backpedaling every time you challenged him. I mean, he had like a view, and then towards the end, he just kept on backpedaling, changing his mind. I think his takes on Sauce were not fair at all. People forget that Sauce was all pro his first 2 years. He has a subpar third year by his standards, and nobody wants to re-sign him. Like, a lot of people want to let him go, and I don't get that, because if Aaron Glenn was this very good corner, which he was, because I saw him play, I truly believe that Aaron Glenn can straighten Sauce Gardner out and help him out with technique and so forth. So, you know what, Jake? I'm okay with them waiting one additional year to sign him. I know the price will go up, but if they need to see one more year of him just turning things around, I'm okay with that. But do I think he should be re-signed? I think he should be re-signed. I think he's that good. I don't think the first 2 years were a fluke. I really don't. I think he is amongst the top 3, top 5 best safeties in the league. All right, he's not the best tackler, but Deion Sanders was a horrible tackler. But as far as a coverage guy, yeah, I think Sauce is amongst top 3 in the whole league, and still is.
Agreed. I think they should pay him. I think they're going to. There's an argument, hey, you could wait a year, but the idea of trading him like someone suggested, it's crazy talk. It doesn't make any sense.
Crazy talk. And the only thing that still really concerns me, Jake, is the Justin Fields and the processing of information. And that's probably his biggest boogaboo, because let's be honest, Jake, I don't think he has issues with arm strength in general. I think he can throw the ball downfield, but his problem is judgment, processing information, getting happy feet in the pocket, maybe getting too much time in the pocket, and then if he doesn't take off running, he panics, and then he gets sacked or he fumbles. And I don't want to see any of the old Justin Fields. Henceforth, they're going to run the ball a lot. I understand that. But then there's going to be teams that are obviously going to be ready for that. And how is he going to react to that? So my biggest concern is Justin Fields. I'm not a believer in him yet. I see that he has upswing. I don't want to say he doesn't have any upswing. I think processing information is his biggest negative up to this point, Jake. And the whole thing with that for me is, I just look at it, and this bugs me more than anything, Jake. Where would we be right now if, I know this is a hypothetical and we should move on, but I am going to say this. Look at our schedule this year. It's not the toughest schedule in the world, other than maybe the first 8 games, okay? Could you imagine if we ran it back one more time with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams? What what record would you be predicting right now for the Jets if they made all these refinements and these moves, and say that Aaron Glenn is our coach? What would you, looking at the schedule, what would you predict? Would you not predict at least 10 wins or better with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae?
If I had both of those guys,
yes.
I would wonder what other moves they would have made if they had that. I mean, I think they'd be better. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, let's pretend they made similar to moves that they made right now. What they did right now, I know they did a little bit of bargain basement, but now you have 1A and 1B in receiver, and that's fantastic because Devontae's still here. And then you have Aaron, who finished strongly. Okay, now he's super duper healthy, and he's buying into Engstrom's system, and he's going to go that way, and they're going to run a lot more also. When you think with this schedule, Jake, that they could easily win at least 10 games or if not better?
I think they would be a 9 or 10 win team. Yeah, I could definitely see it.
For sure. But that's the only thing that really terrifies me is Justin Fields. And then you hear Nick, and Nick is like, well, yeah, he had a good play, but then he's still processing information slowly. I know he's learning a new system, but here's a system that's running heavily on the run. So they're not going to throw a lot here. A lot of it's going to be schematic and RPOs and thrown to the tight end. So this should be a system that shouldn't be so difficult for him to learn. That's the thing that I fear the most, Jake, is the quarterback.
The quarterback is the biggest unknown. If he's really good, this team has a chance to be a lot better than anyone expects. If he's what he's been, unless the coaching's perfect, you're probably looking at, 5, 6, 7 win team at best.
Yeah, I know Peter Castro's in love with him. And I told Peter, Peter, if this guy doesn't pan out, I'm coming after you, Peter. But, Peter's a good guy. We're good friends. But, I mean, I think that's the biggest question, Jake, how Justin does, because the rest of the team does not look bad. Allen's a jackass. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Our talent level on this team is good, above average, in my opinion, in a lot of positions. But it all boils down to this quarterback, how he processes information and how he does. And I think that's where we go. I mean, my window is anywhere between 4 and 8 wins. I don't think they're going to do much better unless, you know what, Jake?
Pretty big window.
Yeah, I know it's a big window, but you know what, Jake? If we're looking at 3-5 or 4-4 before we go into the bye, and Fields is looking good, my whole outlook changes completely. Then I think that, we have a chance for the playoffs. Because if they can get by these first 8 games and be at least 3-5 or 4-4, I think we're going to have a good year. I think he's going to prove us wrong. He's going to have a good year, and I'll come on and I'll say I was wrong. But, I'm just very scared about the quarterback. That's my biggest reservations. Allen's wife.
Unknown with Fields. If he's good, the Jets will be a lot better than most think. If he stinks, then it's not going to be a great year. You can only mask quarterback deficiencies in today's NFL for so long. I don't think you could win how they did with Sanchez, for example. And I just think the NFL it's too hard to play that level of defense that they did in 2009. I think Jets defense will be good, but this is not going to be like an all-time defense. More of your calls right now. I believe our next caller has an announcement that could change the fabric of one of our marquee events on the ASMANIAC calendar.
Well, he's home sitting in a chair, 'cause his back hurts. On the road, he's sitting in a chair, in an upgraded hotel room. He calls the show his ass is in a chair. His wife thinks he's weird. He got a beard. He loves the Jets, the Super Chats. He's a big fella. He's all alone in a room on a chair. That's a big fella.
Yes, sir.
He's going to Tampa, baby. Yeah.
Going to Tampa. That's right. Consulted with the wife yesterday, and we decided we're heading on down there. Going to meet up all the people, the Southern Jet fans, the ASMANIACs from down south. So should be good, man.
I love it. Well, if you need any info on the hotel, or the ticket?
I already booked everything. I
you're
booked
all
everything,
set?
bro. Yeah, I'm all set, bro. I got the tickets, got the hotel, got the air, got
Are
the
you
plane.
staying at Tampa Riverwalk with us?
I'm staying at the Hyatt down there.
The Hyatt. All right, Mr. Big Fella. Look at you.
So, I don't know about that. But yeah, no, it's gonna be good, man. I can't wait to meet all the people down there. It should be awesome. And
Let's go. It's gonna be a great tailgate Sunday morning, Jet fans, through the Tampa Jets crew. Scan the QR code on the screen if you want to lock in your spot. We got
Absolutely.
our happy hour the night before locked in at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill. We'll have some raffles that night, signed Jets items. Could be a hell of a trip for anyone who's coming to Tampa with us.
It sounds good, man. It sounds really good, and look forward to meeting everybody there. The chat is spicy today, man. The chat is really spicy today, man. I don't know why people are talking shit so much today, but I know it's Friday. But come on now, be nice.
Alan's
people.
back from vacation, so people are fired up.
It's not just him. It's Jets Nation and Black Gypsy. They're talking to each other kind of nasty, but it is what it is, So I'm looking forward to meeting everybody down there. It should be great. And I mailed Beast's package today, so he should be getting that next week.
Nice.
And
what did you think of the little Joey birthday spectacular last night?
I thought it was excellent. Gator did a great job. You were there too. I mean, you guys co-hosted it together. It was excellent. It was really good. Gator did a phenomenal job. I know he loves Beast, and you could tell throughout the whole production. So it was very good. Very good. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a really good time. I'm looking forward to. I've seen the stadium before, but the stadium inside looks really cool. That was it. Raymond James. Yeah, it looks really cool inside. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm putting my streak on the line, man. I never saw the Jets lose live. So
Ever on the road or just in general?
Live, I've never seen them lose. 7 games.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm putting it on the line, man. I'm putting the streak on the line.
Wow.
So.
Well, last year you went to Tennessee and you saw a win. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess you don't go to a lot of games because if you have over the last 15 years, your record wouldn't be too good.
Last year I went to 3 games. I went to the Patriots game, I went to the Tennessee game, and I went to the Houston game.
You saw 3 of our 5 wins in person last year.
Yeah. So I'm putting the streak on the line, man. Hopefully it'll be a good one.
I like it.
Hopefully it'll be a good trip.
Let's go. That makes me feel good about our chances against the Bucs now.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Bucs are a good team, though. I mean, their wide receiver core is so stacked. I mean, it's insane. And they drafted Ibuka too, which is I don't know why. It's like the rich getting richer. But I don't know. We'll see. But looking forward to it. Just want to tell everybody that Gator, you pushed me over the edge last night, saying that you wanted me to go. So I'm there, my friend, and we'll definitely meet up, and it's gonna be a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big fella's coming to Tampa. Tampa takeover, people. Join us. If you need group tickets, join the Patreon. One of your perks is access to that. Way cheaper than the face value. Patreon.com/Jake Asman Show. Ladies and gentlemen, on the second show later today, Charles Gorman has agreed to shave live on the air. That will be going down after 4:30 Eastern time today. And Eli says, I'm excited for Charles to shave today. I don't know about everyone else. Gorman shaving, it could be a crime scene investigation. We raised $70 for Gorman to shave on Venmo in 5 minutes. We sent Charles an advance payment of $30 yesterday, and I'm withholding the remaining funds until the completion of the shave. If you want to contribute, we'll give you the opportunity to do so later on. But once again, trying to explain to someone yesterday, hey, I raised $70 for one of my callers to shave on the air. That was not exactly the most easy conversation to have.
There you go. Don't move.
Oh, shit. You're not kidding.
So that is why I love this community and why this technically being my job, it never really feels like it's a job, even with how bad the Jets have been. Ladies and gentlemen, We are reaching the home stretch of the show. I'm going to do a Kevin Mawai raffle at the end. We did our 4 prizes at the beginning of the show. Last chance to get in for the Kevin Mawai jersey. I'll give away another one of these at the end of the program. Plus, we need to determine via the voting. Right now, Genergy, 37% leading Peter Castro, Rick Kent, and Thunderlips in which Asmaniac should get the signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey that Indy Jets is nice enough to give away to someone else. Now, full disclosure, the champ was on the line, but he just dropped off. So I don't know where Mr. Bonesy went, but I was going to him. He was next. Speaking of Indy Jets, he just gifted a channel membership. He is in our raffle with this kind contribution for 1.
You get the fuck out.
Now, for those wondering where Beast is, he did tell us he has a doctor's appointment today. So Beast hopefully will be around for the second show to recap what little Joey thought of his birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Bo C. Who better than Bo? He won a signed Bart Scott jersey in our most recent raffle. He won the Don Maynard signed photo during a daily raffle the other day, and he's back for more. He's just gifted 10 channel memberships.
We are mama way.
Give Bo some love in the chat. Many of you have gotten memberships from him. If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Luis Quintieri, Ernesto Rivera, Juan Suarez, Stanley Santos, Patrick Cahill, Jason Sargis, Kicking It with Chaos, Mike F., Brandon Sanzone, all receiving a channel membership from Bo. I need suggestions from the chat. What should the next channel channel emoji be? Our most recent one was the Ricky NY one that we added. JT has gifted a channel membership. He's in the raffle for 1. Thank you to JT. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Norm with an Asmaniac super chat. He writes in, hey, Jake, it's my birthday. I was so close to winning the Beck jersey yesterday. I need that Mawai jersey today. Good luck, Norm. I appreciate you. Happy birthday, most importantly. Give some love to Norm. Go Jet yourself in the chat who's celebrating a birthday today. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Marvin with an Asmaniac super chat. Salah was cool, but his vibe was flat. There was no real urgency. You could feel the energy and culture shifting with Glenn. We're better than people think. You do feel it, but so much of it is still like, do you have the quarterback or not, right? Other stuff matters, and that can improve your overall record. But like to take the next step to being a team that actually is among the contending teams, you got to have the quarterback. History tells you that. Jquest says, Jake, read my previous message about Gator. Okay, Jquest. Making requests now, are you? Let's see. I can't find your previous comment. Can you write it again? Why are you making this so hard, Jquest? I can't find it. Rewrite it, and I'll put you in. Happy birthday to Norm. On his birthday, he should be getting gifts. Instead, he just gifted us 5 channel memberships. Bang! Bang! Norm, you are in the raffle for 5. Good luck. Hopefully you get a little birthday luck for you. James Eubanks, Alan Hernandez, Trevor Bollinger, ISE, and Ronald Smith, all receiving channel memberships. Norm, good luck, my friend. Appreciate you. Oh, baby. I don't have Mr. Bonesy yet. He did write 2 minutes. He'll call in, so we'll let Bonesy be the potential closer here. But right now, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man who hails from Vermont. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mikey time.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not going to touch anything, I promise.
I lied. Mikey's line dropped out in the middle of the intro playing. Let's be real, though. It was called probably was not going to work. So, well, I can't offer a Mikey call unless he calls back and his connection is somehow a heck of a lot better than it has been. What I can do instead is provide a clip of Mikey from a previous moment in the Asmaniac community. This was Mikey obliterated during a Bobby Midnight program.
What? What?
I love you, Sophie.
Oh
I
my.
love you. Now they can't wait, you fucking bitch.
Whoa.
You just called me a fucking bitch. Oh my god.
Jake,
What
okay,
is going on? I'm done. I'm done.
I understand. Just listen to me for 30 seconds.
Call
Give
me
me...
a fucking bitch.
Okay, so get him out.
I am done. Bye, everybody.
What a moment in time, huh? Let's see. Mikey is actually called back in. Is it going to work? Probably not, but we'll try it anyway. Hello, Mikey. Can you hear me? Mikey. Mikey. Yeah. Hands up, baby. Mikey. Mikey. Mikey.
Yeah, you hear me now?
Mikey, thank you very much. That went exactly how I thought it would go. Ladies and gentlemen, next up on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is the champ.
The only thing better than Alden shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother.
Bonesy.
You know, I was on hold. I couldn't stop laughing when we were talking about how much money you raised for Gorman and when you try explaining this show to somebody, because I've been there multiple times. But I had to change browsers. I realized, like, oh shit, I'm gonna go in there with the wrong browser. It's gonna be all staticky and shit. Like, let me get that out of the way. So that's what I was a browser trick that I figured out for the Android. So,
well, you've never sounded so crystal clear. So whatever you're doing is working.
yes, sir. Everyone with the Android, you can literally go to settings, apps, and change it right on there real quick. And then I change it back so I don't fill it with cache or whatever and you know, all the things that slow down the internet browsers. So, but my Jets takes today. Hold on one sec. You mother. Yo, man, I think I got ants, bro. Like, we have like these like bigger ants. I think it's coming from, and my wife is like a Nazi with cleaning, so it has nothing to do with that.
Well, we know she knows how to use a vacuum at a high level.
She's just a crazy, like, she's just like so nuts where we'll have people over, like, you know, we'll throw like, you know, Christmas or something. And as soon as everyone leaves, she has to sweep and mop. And like, yeah, that's a hobby of hers. So, but anywho,
My Quest writes in, shout out to Gator for getting 10 Asmaniacs served divorce papers last night for watching a rodent's birthday party on YouTube.
It's so true. Well, I was at a talent show rehearsal for my son, and I'm literally sitting there because I got to be in there. This is his party he's been waiting for, so I'm in the chat, and my wife looks over and she's like, "Is that a hamster on your phone? What are you watching?" I got nothing. I got nothing. How do I explain that? I don't even tell her who Beastbreaker is because he's calling me all the time. She's going to think I'm cheating on her. But anyway. Oh, man. So my Jets takes. It's hard when you like care about the Jets so much and you've grown love over the years with certain players and stuff, not to just when you hear, I know it's before the season, but when you hear these guys talk and you hear Aaron Glenn talk I am fully bought into Aaron Glenn. Everything about him, besides his big decision with Fields and Rodgers, and the more I'm seeing how he's conducting practices and how he's running things, it really probably came down to with Rodgers that he just wanted to not let anyone be above the law. He wanted to run his scheme, design his way, and he really just didn't feel like dealing with, what comes with Rodgers. So, this year when we're really thinking who's gonna be better, Rodgers or let's just see if we're losing games and it's not because of the coaching or it's things like if Justin Fields is actually getting a chance in the 2-minute drill multiple times, or games are going down to the end of games and Fields is getting the ball and he's failing. That's what's going to be the big difference when we see how we feel about everything going on. Because I just listening to Aaron Glenn talk, though, man, when he was just talking about how much experience he gave, and he gave credit to Campbell and how he let him conduct the practices and him, basically run everything his way and prepare for this moment. It just seems like when we were used to listening to Saleh, it was almost you couldn't believe what he was saying. He wasn't authentic to himself. I feel like Glenn believes what he's saying, even maybe if it's not true with how good he thinks we're going to be or his confidence level. Just he really does. I feel like he's being honest when he talks, and I appreciate that as a fan. It makes you get more excited and buy in, just like you've heard the players are buying in. Same feelings. So, what does scare me though, one thing I will say, I feel like Saleh didn't have the crazy tackling practices and stuff because we were always so scared of injuries. And once they kind of figured that out, they used to take it easy mainly because they were almost treating it like we are already a good team and we didn't need to practice because we were a top 5 unit and we wanted to make sure we stayed healthy more than getting hurt in practice. So, and obviously that wasn't the case, but that was, I think, part of the approach of why we weren't going crazy in tackling. And yeah, tackling's all well and good, but what happens if people start going down? God forbid, I don't even want to say it out loud, anything happens to Garrett. I mean, if you watch any of Justin Fields through his entire Chicago career, that's why we're not signing a wide receiver too. Everybody's like, oh, sign a veteran. We're not signing a veteran. I mean, maybe if we traded Lazard, which I kind of soured on, I don't think we're going to trade Lazard, but I just don't think we're looking for a veteran route running guy who is going to need extra days off and extra care because, he knows what he's doing and whatnot. I don't think that's what we're looking for right now. If you watch Justin Fields in his career, he had one receiver that would go for 1,000 yards. He'd have a tight end who went for 500, and then the rest of them would be, 250, 300 guys at best. So that's how Justin Fields plays, and he rushes for 1,000. And then on the flip side, everyone talking about Justin Fields, we know who he is. We know he's not going to learn how to be great at going through his progressions from just last year to this year, especially in a new scheme. But one thing we'll know is he's going to run. And if things aren't going well with his arm, he's just going to run a little more and he'll probably get hurt because Justin Fields never finished a season before. So, but if he doesn't get hurt, he's going to look like Mike Vick. You could run all day. If Fields is running and breaking tackles and he's a top 2-3 elite rushing quarterback in the league. So if he doesn't get hurt, and that could be, the change of everything. Justin Fields is running all over the place and not getting hurt, and that could be some luck we get. But you're going to hear all these things about Justin Fields not be going through his progressions, hold on to the ball too long. That's who he is as a quarterback. That's what he's done his whole career. So in a new scheme, what are we supposed to expect right now? He's learning. So
Nick Shine writes in, Nicky wants him a Y jersey, not the kid this time. It's for me. Nick Shine will get you down for 2. Also, Bonesy wears black more than Johnny Cash did.
That is a fact. I own. If I showed you guys my closet, it is literally Jets and black T-shirts and work shirts. Like
And
it's literally.
What about suits when you have to appear in court?
Yeah, I got like maybe 3 or 4 go-to suits, but I don't even wear the suits anymore. It's just black T-shirts. I go you buy 4 for $25 at Champs. If you go to Champs, you get 4 for $25, and they're nice. Like they're not like cheap. They're like thick. They're nice T-shirts. So.
Alan says, I dozed off about 2 minutes into Bonesy's nonsense. Anyone can please provide the cliff notes.
Man, it's so funny how small Alan's penis is. It's just hilarious.
Fuck you, Alan.
And we're adding the great King Lowski to the conversation now.
Lowski!
We have our national championship game back on the line together.
Yes.
That's
My
what
kid.
I got for Alan right there. Alan, you can sit on it and twirl. You sucker duck fuck.
Beastbreaker's calling me right now.
Oh, God.
I went from Bobby to Beastbreaker. I miss Bobby, man. Why Bobby stop calling me?
He doesn't call this show anymore. I mean, he only called 7 times in the month of May, 1 in June so far. Sad.
Man, I still miss Bobby, man. I miss Bobby. He's watching right now.
Shout out Bobby Midnight. Shout out Bobby Midnight for sure, man.
King, do us a favor. Maybe do the Bonesy trick with your audio there. Different browsers, because we were getting a ton of choppy feedback for you, so we couldn't hear you.
Yeah, man.
Look,
The browser trick is perfect.
Look, I miss I miss Bobby's calls as well, but ultimately he's his own man.
He's being a little stubborn, but as we get older, we get more set in our ways, and he's at least he did call in to wish, Dude, yesterday was when I got caught by my wife, I was just like, I said it's Jake stuff, you know how we get fucking, we get a little weird in there. But she's like, you're supposed to be. It's like it's a rehearsal. It's not the real thing. They're acting like it's the real thing, and they're doing the real show. But my son, who I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan, but he's literally rapping Kendrick Lamar for his talent show. It's just like, what am I seeing right now?
Some people get caught cheating on their wives. Other people get caught watching a guinea pig birthday party during their kid's talent show.
I kind of told her a little bit about it in the car, and she was like, just to mock me. We got in the car. She's like, well, how was the party? I was like, it was a blast. It was incredible.
Beastbreaker's called in. Hello, Beast.
I'm outside of Berwyn right now. I'm waiting for a train. I just put out my pass.
All right.
I got my blood work and everything else taken care of. The doctors have already said I'm all good.
Oh, good for you, Beast. You were worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, well,
did they recommend anything for your diet or anything else?
No, everything's all shape clear. We're all good to go.
Okay. As he drinks the Sprite.
Love him. Fucking love him. Listen, Jake, Beast calls me. Just like, 15, 20 minutes ago, he starts talking to me about Beasley. And then I hear someone in the doctor's office go, hello, sir. You can't be talking this loud about these types of things. Beast is like, oh, my bad.
Come on. With the rain, buddy. I'm not. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm just checking my drinks here. I'm waiting for the Union Station train to come in.
Well, Beast, we'll let you run, but we'll talk to you this afternoon, and we'll hear all about little Joey's birthday.
Hey, always, and just remember, when the shit down, hey, if the game's on the line, finish the job.
Exactly.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we could hear the king this time. Mr. Lowski, our king is back.
Jake, my brother, am I good?
Yes.
Okay, then, man. I was getting a lot of scam likely calls. I don't know if it was Sucker Doug Allen, and I don't know if it was Bang Mateo. I don't know who it was, but yeah, I'm in the building, baby. Hey, I just wanted to say this, man, about Aaron Glenn and the whole thing about Justin Fields. What I like hearing, and it's encouraging that he's teaching Justin to throw the ball down the field. I heard it was a lot of dime passes, 50 yards and above that Justin was making that I love, man. Teach that guy the fundamentals of throwing the ball too, okay? Because we're going to need his arm. We're going to need it at the end of the day, okay? So I know that, I believe that he's a game manager that can run. Y'all already know how I feel. But Aaron Glenn is saying the right things, doing the right things, teaching these guys the fundamentals of the game in the beginning, not week 13, okay? Teaching the guy how to tackle. So that's what I'm loving seeing, man. I'm encouraged by that, okay? Because it's going to come down to coaching and quarterback play. I don't want nobody to get it twisted. That's what it's going to come down to. So I'm loving it, man. I got my Garrett Wilson shirt, Aaron Wilson, baby. You feel me? Shout out to the AFC East round table. But yeah, man, it's gonna be about this guy this year, man. It's gonna be about G5, man. We gotta get him the ball any way we can. Whether we use him as Debo, screen, I don't care what it is. Get him the ball, man. He gotta have over 1,000 yards this year for sure.
He will. That'll come easy. He's gonna have a monster season because that's what Justin Fields does. He's a deep ball thrower. He is accurate as hell with the deep ball. He throws dots 50, 60 yards in the air. Him and Garrett Wilson, we are going to have a lot of exciting plays. It's just more, my only worry is that I really have is like when it comes down to like the end of the game stuff. If our defense, which it looks already like, it could, besides we don't know about the run game up the middle, but our defense is looking pretty good. And if we're in games at the end and Justin Fields has to make, plays with his mind, that's what it's all about. How much can he learn? How good is the coach of Aaron Glenn to Justin? Because Aaron Glenn's all in, right? We know that. So,
amen,
I'm
gentlemen.
Ready,
the two national champion finalists here are back. We love when they share the screen. Love it. King, Bonesy, you guys are the best of the best. Appreciate both of you.
Love Jake. Love Bones for sure.
Also, since I didn't get to play this just yet, ladies and gentlemen, let's give King Lowski the proper farewell. Tremendous. Love most King Lowski's mustache, by the way. Looks great. Anthony, I had you down. You gifted 10 memberships earlier before all the madness there on the phone lines. 10 spot channel memberships. You are in our raffle at the end of the show and next week's raffle with this.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Communication, Goodbye to the World, Johnny Cards, E-Stack Fishing, Veterans Fitness, Paul Sosky Jr., Joe Santa Marina, and Jetted Out, all receiving a channel membership there from the great Anthony L. Okay, we got a super chat from Kyle Clifton. He's in the raffle for 2. I'm going to compile the names, and we'll do our daily raffle, plus close the poll at the end of the show. Who's going to get the Clyde Frazier jersey that Indy Jets is nice enough to donate? Right now, Genergy with a commanding lead. The community is supporting one of the leaders of the 4%. Genergy, 40% in first place. Second place, Peter Castro, 23. Rick Kent, 21. Thunderlips, 16. So this super chat from Kyle says we need to exploit some of these other problems other teams are having and pick up a player on the cheap. Once we sign Sauce and Garrett, we currently have the 4th most cap room. I agree, and there's guys out there. I don't know if the Jets are going to add a notable name, though. It doesn't sound like it. I could be wrong, though. We don't truly know enough about Glenn and Muji to say they won't do it. Their actions have told us they don't want anyone over 30. But is there someone that shakes free that we're not thinking of that maybe fits? I don't know. Luppy says, if ground and pound work for Sanchez, it can work for Fields. It can, but I don't think you could just ground and pound your way to the playoffs nowadays. There's too many good passing teams. Playing offense has never been easier. All the rules favor the offense. I do think we're seeing more value on being able to run the football. We're starting to see us swing it back the other way. It's still a passing league, though. You still got to be able to throw. Luppy, he's gifted 5 channel memberships. He's in the raffle at the end of the show. Luppy, I got you down for 5. Once again, we did our main raffle at the top of the show. We're going to do one more prize at the end here. A signed Hall of Fame inscription, Kevin Mawai jersey. King and Dream says, let me get that Bart Scott jersey, my G. K&D, I'm sorry to break the bad news, but Bo C won the Bart Scott jersey earlier. If you're interested in the Mawai jersey, you could gift a membership and get in for that. Or next week's top prizes include a signed Darrelle Revis football and a Broadway Joe Namath signed football. So those are the top 2 for next week. Luppy's channel memberships, they went to listener Mr. Leany. Shout out to Leany and Mr. Leany. Mr. Leany, we hope your recovery is going well. Card Cave Central, James Madden, Jack Needham, and JV Free, who all received channel memberships there. Appreciate the support as always, Luppy. Eli says, are there any other roster moves that could take the team from 6 to 8 to 8 to 10, not quarterback? I mean, I don't think Jadeveon Clowney moves the win total that drastic, but I think he helps. I'd sign him. Right now, Michael Clemens is going to start training camp as the number 1 edge next to Will McDonald. You guys want that? I don't. Right? I mean, Jermaine's going to be back, but he's not going to be ready at the start of camp right away. Glenn said he's probably going to be on the PUP list for the first week or so. So I would like another edge. I would like another DT. I would like a receiver, definitely. Give me Keenan Allen. King Lowski gifting 5 channel memberships. Let's go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you hear your name called, you're a channel member. Thanks to the great King Lowski. Elbow Fat, Garat Sai, Brandon Roberts, Mac Nova, SPS 16, all receiving channel memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, K&D says, I'll go for the Revis signed football gift away, K&D, and we will get you down. Appreciate your support as always, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I see a wild beast breaker moving and grooving right now. Stay with us. I don't know what's happening here. Hello, Beast.
We're waiting for the lousy Metro, and this is really.
I like how you're wearing the big.
Waiting for them. It's like waiting for the tortoise to go. And I'm just waiting for the lousy Metro because they are.
I'm gonna let you go, Beast, because your internet on the phone is horrendous. But we appreciate you calling in, ladies and gentlemen. A man of his word, K&D. He is in the ASMANIAC Raffle because he just gifted 10 raffle entries. Boom!
It's the ASMANIAC Membership Raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
K&D, thank you. Here's who got his memberships. Also, I need suggestions for what our next Edgemo should be. You let me know, and we have our team working on it. Jets Super Bowl 2025, Voice of Reason, Mongo Horse Punch, Sean Mahoney, Nick Shine's Missing Toe, Raider Mac, Chelsea Porto, B. Smith, Truth, and GM, all receiving channel memberships. Make sure you vote in the poll. 192 of you have voted, but there's over 240 of you watching live right now. Every vote matters, as we saw in ASMANIAC Madness, on who's going to come away with the Walt Clyde Frazier jersey. Folks, he is called back in. We are all wondering if it's going to work. I know a lot of us have doubts. I think we need Bobby Midnight to go over there to help him, but we will try it one last time. It's Mikey time.
Hello, I'm Mikey. I'm Bobby's little bro. Have you seen Jake Graves? She's so beautiful. I love my boy Jake, but not in a gay way. I am so happy. I'm not gonna touch anything, I promise.
Mikey.
Hey, Jake, you hear me?
I hear you, Mikey.
Yeah, I love you, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was joking about Reggie Miller. I was joking about him. No one wanted coach the Knicks. I just threw his name out. That's a little bit because
you scared me.
Yeah, I want what's his name? Mark Jackson instead.
You want Mark Jackson?
Yeah. Mark Johnson gonna kick the shit out of all the Knicks.
I don't think they're gonna hire Mark Jackson. How about you to be the head coach? Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I want to quit the hospital. I will be the best coach for the New York Knicks, and me and Glenn will meet up in New York. We party all the time. Let's party all the time.
Yeah, baby.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love you too, Mikey.
When we could go to the game, are we going to game? Are you going to game with Carolina?
The Carolina game, October 19th. Are you coming?
Yeah, I saving money for the food. The food. I save like $250 for me and Bobby for the
Don't
food.
worry. Nick and I will take care of you, all right?
I like Nick. I love Nick. Nick is my homeboy too.
Yeah.
But you know, we have to be a Jet fans. Who cares about Patriots, Buffalo, Mafia, Poopy Mafia? I hate that.
Yeah. Poopy Mafia.
And I keep saying the Dolphins, they suck.
Amen.
But I love you. The Knicks go win the championship next year. Get Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson's going to take us to the promised land.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Mikey Midnight. Mikey, whatever you just did for that call, try and repeat the process, because that was the first time in the last 10 attempts we actually got through a Mikey call without it dropping out or us being able to see him but not hear him or vice versa. Love it. Absolutely love it. Appreciate all of you tuning in right now. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to toss to a video to give me about a minute to put together the list of all the people that are in our Mawai Daily Raffle Prize right here, right now, at the end of this very program. I'll come back on the other side and announce the winner. I do want to mention that today's the deadline. If you want to join us, like Mikey Midnight is, at the Jets-Panthers group outing event on October 19th. So please, please, please buy your ticket. Click the link in the description if you haven't already, and we will get you up, and we'll get it all situated. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Play the clip. Come back, spin the wheel, and announce who's going to win the Daily Raffle Prize. Ladies and gentlemen, back right after this. More of your calls right now. Well, the Buffalo Jet fans on the line.
Hey, Jake. Hey, guy that weird has the same background I got. I wanted to show you a little bit about my studio. I never get to show you my studio. My microphone, for example, with the pretty colors. It's not the only thing it does. Here, watch when I hit this button. It's got the nice Jets logos that come up through it. And then I press this button. And you got the dancing girls, right? Yep, that's good. And then my chalkboard, of course, I never reference it ever. It's always here. It's got my initials on it. And this is a play that I used to run with my friends back in high school. But really, it's also my escape portal. I can show you. Watch.
You don't have to come and confess that you did. We're looking for you. We gonna find you. I'm letting you know now. obviously we have a rapist. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids.
Oh, no, he's back. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Undefeated, man. I can't believe you didn't get to my Joe Rogan looking monkey painting over here.
Oh my god! I don't know how he does that either. Like, I've been using StreamYard for 3 years doing the show. I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. He just did.
And he's one of one.
I see Lane Kerner goes, I have questions for you, Buffalo fake fan. Gator says, could someone ask Buffalo Jet fan next week why he has a chalkboard that he never uses? Bonesy writes in, I'm still laughing at Gator hitting the switch with the girls dancing, then acknowledging the chalkboard. That was so good.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time again, folks. Here's the Wheel of Champions. All the names have been entered. Music, please. Here we go, folks. Only one can win a bonus prize on the show today. A signed Kevin Mawai Jets jersey. Jets Ring of Honor, Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the greatest centers in the history of the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been some show. You guys are the best. Somehow June Jets talk is ever more fun. Here we go. The winner of the Mawai jersey is... listener KND. Hey, he wanted the Revis football, but he's gonna have to settle for a different Jets Hall of Famer. Kevin Mawai jersey to KND, King and Dreams. Congrats, King. Well deserved. True Jets fan. Excited for him to get that, and he still does have a chance at the Revis football. That is one of the top prizes in Raffle 29 next week on the show. Okay. We're not done just yet. Indy Jets, for those who tuned in late, he donated the Clyde Frazier jersey that he won because he's a good guy. He's not a Knicks fan, obviously. He's a Pacers fan, which go figure. So we decided, if you tuned in late, because Indy Jets said, hey, why don't you put 4 Knicks fans in a poll and have the chat decide? It was tough to come up with 4, so we ended up with, I think, with 10 noted Knicks fans who regularly call into the show and talk about their Knicks fandom. We spun the wheel for that. It left us with Rick Kent, Peter Castro, Thunderlips, and Jenner G. And I'm excited to share the winner of the Walt Clyde Frazier jersey goes to Jenner G, who received 38% of the vote. 205 total people voted since the poll was open. What a move by Indy Jets. So classy. And congrats to Jenner G. She's a true Knicks fan. She came to one of our Knicks watch parties we did during the playoffs. So Jenner G, I don't think she's watching live, but someone will tell her, and I'll certainly reach out. She's getting this Walt Clyde Frazier jersey sent to her, courtesy of Indy Jets. So again, thank you all for watching Charles Gorman Shaves live on the air during our second show today. We still got a lot of stuff to talk about following some of the reaction from minicamp, press conferences, everything going on. We will get to that on the afternoon show. I want to thank everyone who won a raffle prize, everyone who sent in a super chat or gifted a membership, called into the show, all that and more. You guys are the best. Appreciate all of you. I will talk to you guys this afternoon. Happy Friday, everyone. And let's go, Jets.
People in the chat are asking, where's Ryan and where's Jet Central? Ryan couldn't make it.
Isn't Ryan on hold, Richie?
Ryan's on hold. Oh.
Wait, is he here?
Wait.
Bring him on and start over. Hey, look.
Wait. He's
been here.
You guys didn't invite me to this fucking thing. What the fuck's going on? How come you didn't invite me to this fucking thing? All of a sudden, like, I come on the YouTubes and I see all this grin. It looks like Shrek took a shit. Shouldn't that guy be in jail? And did you see what that guy did with Melania?
Into the Taekwondo! You gosh darn go!
I changed my profile pic to a Patriots logo as a joke, and now Twitter is not allowing me to change my profile pic back. So it appears I...
Oh, gosh.
Be in jail. That's great.
What the heck was that? I did not expect that. All of a sudden, Jake's like, there's someone backstage. And
that was awesome.
Did you send Gator the link, Jake? I'm so confused.
I can't comment publicly on what transpired.
Of course.
That completely caught me off guard. I did not expect that or That was fun.
That was good.
Oh, that was great. All right, well, that was Ryan. Jets Talk 24/7.
The Jets are gonna come back.
No, they're not. They're never going to come back. They're never going to come back.
Here it is. Little Victor Cruz dance. Oh, Victor. Woo. We're doing a little salsa, baby. Yeah. Woo.
I hate this team. I hate them. I hate them.